Nemuro 10 Scenes Rally, Mission Phase, Cultural Reconnaissance Protocol. 10 waypoints across Japan's easternmost frontier, from volcanic cliffs to mist-bound wetlands. Each site holds a fragment of territorial memory. Selected by local citizens in 1979, the 10 scenes represent the soul of Nemuro, its nature, its history, its silence. 1. Lake Chobushi, a quiet forest lake, encircled by cedar and birch. Statues of cannon watch over the mist. 2. Lake Furen, a vast brackish lake, swans, cranes, and over 300 bird species converge here. A sanctuary of silence. 3. Hamamatsu Coast, a sweeping arc of sand facing Yorori and Moyorori Islands. Puffins and sea otters patrol the surf. 4. Kuruma Ishi Wheelstone, a basalt formation beneath Hanasaki Lighthouse, 6 meters wide, radiating like a forgotten compass. 5. Northern Natural Flower Garden, 75 hectares of wild blooms, iris, daylily, and wind-sculpted pines. A seasonal palette in motion. 6. Meiji Park, a former ranch turned heritage site. Brick silos stand like sentinels of the early frontier. 7. Cape Nosapu, Japan's easternmost point, the oldest lighthouse in Hokkaido faces disputed waters and drifting ice. 8. Cape Ochieshi, cliffs and fog, the Sakutsetsuji bloom here, and the sea below hides seals and otters. 9. Lake Oneto, a tidal lake with vast mudflats. Clams and shorebirds thrive in its shifting geometry. 10. Shunkyunatai, a sandbar between lake and sea. Rugged pines, wild roses, and eagles mark this liminal zone.
では行ってまいります。あれが行ってからにします。関係者です。川島さんだ。川島さん。こんにちは。遅くなりまして。はい、気付けてきます。鹿に鹿とぶつからない。いや死んじゃう。そう、一人ね、ちょっとあれしちゃった人いるから。来る途中も鹿飛び出してきて。今？はい、さっき。あ、いや、全然私の3台前ぐらいで飛び出してきたんで。あー。あ、動画っすか？あ、やべえな、こけた。はい、行ってきます。
Pilgrim 1, Fox Echo. Departure confirmed. General Kawashima present at launch. Nemuro 10 Scenes Rally initiated. Note: mid-route entry authorized. Full circuit not required. Proceed as time permits. First objective: Lake Furen sector. Navigate to Swan 44 Nemuro roadside station via National Route 44 westbound. Facility adjacent to Ramsar designated wetlands. Begin visual documentation. Fox Echo monitoring. Intersection confirmed. Initiate vector transition to National Route 44 eastbound. This is the Nemuro Corridor, Japan's easternmost arterial route. Terrain: coastal basin, fog-prone. Route integrity verified. proceed toward Lake Furin sector. Visual contact confirmed. Swan 44 Nemuro roadside station approaching at 11 o'clock. Facility overlooks Lake Furin and the Shunkyunatai wetlands, designated observation post for migratory birds and seasonal flora. Prepare for waypoint logging and environmental scan. Next objective confirmed, Oneto sector. Depart Swan 44 Nemuro and proceed eastbound via National Route 44. Target, Oneto Bridge perimeter, overlooking the brackish lake known as Lake Oneto. This is a designated waypoint within the 10 Scenes Protocol, wetland zone, tidal flats active. Wildlife presence expected. Red-crowned cranes, swans, and ezo deer. Prepare for visual documentation and environmental scan. Visual contact confirmed. Oneto Bridge approaching at 11 o'clock. Structure, 456-meter seismic isolated span with lead rubber bearings. Completed in 1995, this bridge crosses the brackish waters of Lake Oneto, linking tidal flats to forested ridgelines. Oneto Bridge crossing confirmed. Designated landing zone located at 10 o'clock, gravel staging area adjacent to wetland perimeter. Execute landing protocol. Reduce speed, align vector, and touch down. From landing zone, proceed on foot to assigned observation point. Departure from Oneto sector confirmed. Next objective, Higashi Nemuro Station ruins, designated waypoint by General Kazama. Proceed westbound via National Route 44, then divert north through urban grid. Target located on elevated terrain, former platform of Japan's easternmost railway station. Note, friendly forces identified, Shikoku unit observed portside post launch. No coordination required. Maintain heading. Route optimization authorized. Initiate vector override via Hokkaido Transverse Expressway, Nemuro segment. Enter high-speed corridor east of Oneto sector, designated as Nemuro Road. Terrain, stabilized grade, minimal curvature. Estimated time gain, 7 minutes. Exit near Higashi Nemuro urban grid for final approach. Maintain elevated velocity and visual scan. Highway exit confirmed. Approaching Nemuro urban core. Initiate thrust regulation protocol. Afterburner use prohibited within city perimeter. Terrain, residential grid, low altitude corridor. Maintain subsonic velocity and altitude discipline. Urban noise mitigation active. Transit confirmed. Nemuro Station Front Avenue passed. Corridor marks the civic axis of Nemuro City, adjacent to JR Nemuro Station, municipal offices, and transit terminals. Civilian traffic moderate, visibility optimal. Maintain subsonic velocity and altitude discipline. Visual contact confirmed. Approaching Higashi Nemuro Station ruins. Terrain advisory. Residential zone active. Former station platform located within dense housing grid. Low altitude corridor required. Reduce acoustic footprint. Maintain visual discipline. Civilian presence probable. Waypoint secured. Higashi Nemuro Station ruins reached. Terrain, elevated residential grid, former platform intact. This site once marked Japan's easternmost rail terminus, now silent, but still sovereign in memory. Civilian presence minimal. Begin surface scan and documentation protocol. Proceed to designated relay base for tactical reassessment. Objective: determine next viable waypoint within Nemuro 10 scenes protocol. Refuel, recalibrate, and await new vector assignment. Pilgrim 1, Fox Echo. Current position: Horan Cho Sector, Nemuro City. Next objective: Nosabu Cape, Japan's easternmost landfall. Initiate eastbound vector via Hokkaido Route 35, designated as Nemuro Peninsula Line. Terrain: coastal ridge, low elevation, intermittent fog. Route verified: scenic corridor known as North Pacific Seaside Line. Maintain visual discipline and prepare for final approach. Urban perimeter cleared, residential grid no longer active. Thrust restriction lifted, afterburner protocol authorized. Terrain ahead, coastal ridge, low civilian density. Punch it. Current vector places you over eastern wetlands zone. Visual confirmation of Iris Setosa fields, Lake Tan, and Lake Own. Terrain: low altitude marsh basin, vegetation dense, waterlogged. Iris bloom zone active, seasonal purple spread confirmed. Tan 2, elongated freshwater lake, crane habitat. Own 2, broader basin with alpine flora traces, fog density variable. Wildlife presence probable, maintain low altitude vigilance and environmental scan. Sector confirmation: Havamai District, Eastern Nemuro Peninsula. Visual range includes the Havamai Islands, currently under Russian control. These islands, Kaigara, Suisho, Yuri, Shibatsu, were once inhabited by over 5,000 Japanese citizens. They were never foreign territory. Sovereignty remains contested. Japan maintains rightful claim. Strategic relevance: fisheries, sea lanes, and national memory. Maintain observational discipline. Visual contact confirmed. Aurora Tower bearing 12 o'clock. Structure: 96-meter observation tower, erected in 1987 as the Peace Memorial Tower. Current designation: Aurora Tower, operated by local NPO. Strategic location: Nosabu Cape, Japan's easternmost landfall. From its summit, visual access to Russian-held Havamai Islands and the Japan-Russia maritime boundary at 1,850 meters offshore. This facility serves both as a civilian observatory and a symbolic outpost of sovereign memory. Pilgrim 1, Fox Echo. Visual confirmation: Hondo Saitoden Monument at 12 o'clock. This is Japan's easternmost landfall, marked by the official stone pillar at Nosapu Cape. Coordinates: 43 degrees 23 feet 07, in, 145 degrees 49 feet 01, e. Beyond this point lie the Northern Territories, Habamai, Shikoden, Kunashiri, and Itorofu Islands. All four are under Russian control since 1945, yet remain sovereign in Japan's memory and law. Designated landing zone. Adjacent to monument perimeter, clear of civilian traffic. Execute final descent, reduce velocity, align vector, and touch down. Departure from Nosapu Cape confirmed. Initiate return vector via northern corridor of Route 35, Nemuro Peninsula Line. First waypoint, Habo Gensikayan, 75 hectares of coastal flora, active bloom zone. Second waypoint, Shunkyunatai, barrier island ecosystem with tidal forest and migratory bird habitat. Final destination, Dream Origin Point, designated as Mugunkan Rally Zone. Maintain observational discipline and environmental scan throughout transit. You are now over Habo Gensikayan, Northern Wildflower Garden Sector. Terrain: coastal dune system, spanning 75 hectares along the Sea of Okhotsk. Vegetation: over 100 species active, Ezo iris, daylilies, Siberian primrose. Bloom zone confirmed, seasonal peak approaching. This sector functions as a natural buffer between wetland and sea, supporting migratory birds and endemic flora. Pilgrim 1, Fox Echo. Visual confirmation. Northern Wildflower Garden at 12 o'clock. Terrain: coastal dune system, vegetation active. Designated landing zone. West perimeter, adjacent to boardwalk trail. Reduce velocity, align vector, and initiate soft descent. Maintain minimal acoustic footprint. This is a protected floral habitat. Departure from Habo Gensikayan confirmed. Initiate eastbound vector. Next objective, Shunkyunatai. Terrain: barrier island ecosystem, tidal forest, sandbar ridges, migratory bird habitat. Maintain low altitude vigilance and environmental scan. Pilgrim 1, Fox Echo. Approaching urban airspace, civilian grid active. Initiate thrust regulation protocol. Afterburner use prohibited. Maintain subsonic velocity and altitude discipline. Terrain: residential clusters, transit arteries, low-rise structures. Visual scan required. Minimize acoustic footprint. Pilgrim 1, Fox Echo. Visual confirmation, Shungkyunatai at 12 o'clock. This sector supports migratory birds, tidal ecology, and endemic flora. Designated landing zone. Southern perimeter near Nature Center access trail. Reduce velocity, align vector, and initiate soft descent. Maintain minimal acoustic footprint. This is a protected biosphere. Pilgrim 1, Fox Echo. Departure from Shungkyunatai confirmed. Initiate westbound vector. Final destination, Dream Origin Point, designated as Mugunkan. Terrain, urban fringe, low-rise grid, coastal wind corridor. Maintain subsonic velocity and altitude discipline. This marks the conclusion of Eastern Wetlands Protocol. Pilgrim 1, Fox Echo. Visual confirmation, approaching Dream Origin Point. Enter final approach, reduce velocity, initiate landing configuration. Execute final descent. Nemuro 10 Scenes Rally mission complete. Welcome home, Pilgrim 1.
何って